Here, October 28th, 2015. Going into the winter here, fairly shortly. The next couple of weeks are going to be marked by getting some of the supplies that I'm going to need. There may be weeks, hopefully not months, but I'm going to prepare for weeks where I'm up here not able to go anywhere. So that means having enough water, having enough food. There is enough firewood. There is a improved living situation in the dead of winter that I'll be in. And so this is going to be a very special time for me, a special time and place, contemplating a great number of things, trying to pull my energy and attention back from some of the nasty Costilla County political circus related things. I made a recent video where I have requested for people to send me their footage, continue to go down to the meetings. I know that some people may, but I feel like for the most part that message is just whoosh. And so the weather is changing. Of course, there's a lot less light during the evening period, and so more in line with nature, not smoking at the moment, going to sleep when the sun goes down, waking up, in fact, before the sun even comes up. I've actually been up about, 7:30 now. I've been up since about 4 o'clock, 4:30. Also, there are some footsteps outside the, sound like somebody's walking on snow, back and forth, back and forth. I just chalked it up to some supernatural spirit and just told it to take off, and that didn't work. Okay, so I had to literally get up and walk outside, look around, and then it stopped. And that could have been a deer. Could have been a deer. I do not assume everything is of the supernatural, but I am also not frightened by things of the supernatural, or things that go bump in the night. I'm able to deal with some of those energies. I came here to learn about dealing with some of those energies. And I'll tell you what, there are a lot of upset, wicked spirits on the planet right now. There's something about the solar flares boosting up the electromagnetic field. The archons are having a feeding frenzy, turning man against woman, one aspect of mankind against another aspect of mankind, stage world wars. We have the open fermenting and funding of ISIS, courtesy of Western intelligence groups. Now, Russia has a convenient excuse, as well as China. They're coming in the game soon, and they're seen as the heroes without people actually connecting the dots. Problem, reaction, solution, world government, one world army. I don't want to make you too dizzy this early in the morning, but many of us came here to Costilla County to get away from a great many of things that are to come. Right now, we're seeing the ongoing social zombie apocalypse, where more and more human beings are showing signs that they are not tapped into a sense of empathy for others. They're apathetic, on autopilot, shoving whatever into their face, like this is some sort of episode of Double Dare from Nickelodeon, where we're racing and competing against each other to be the quickest to leap into that giant chocolate sundae to win the prize. Shall it be door number 1, 2, or 3 in this game show reality, in this, fiat Federal Reserve currency, the Chuck E. Cheese balls, a bunch of adults acting like children with a bunch of plastic balls. And that's what society is looking like, with people spitting all over themselves. And people have the gall to ask, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? So it's a spiritual time for me. Getting ready to hunker down, knowing that a lot of snow is coming. Going to be eating simple foods this winter, so there'll be less trips to town, less sugar, less meat, less dairy, more rice, more potatoes, more quinoa, more pizza. I'll be making pizza out of whole wheat bread. I'll get organic when I'm in town. I'm thinking about some sweets, probably oatmeal cookies, oatmeal chocolate chip cookies in some cases. Stuff like that will get me through the winter. A lot of oatmeal. And perhaps a few other staples. So I appreciate living simply, going to sleep at 8 o'clock because, my internal clock is ready to go to sleep. I feel like I'm on the internet less. I'm watching less YouTube videos. I'm on Facebook a lot less since I changed my location. Something about where I'm at now seems to be healing aspects of myself at a more accelerated level than where I was on the prairie, out in the open, where all that anger is. And when you change your location, you change your perspective. And I've talked before, there's a lot of warlike energies down there on the prairie. A couple things to let you know. In addition to that, Alamosa Police, Alamosa SWAT is on standby for any problems in the prairie. There's a lot of paranoia. I think there's a lot of sheriff's deputies in Costilla County that are almost in a war psychosis, affected by these energies that I speak of. Whether they're actually concerned for their safety or they're lying, those are different forms of psychosis. There is no concern for your safety when you're doing the right thing and you're not harming other people or stealing from other people. But police officers now are expected to be the Goomba thugs of the state. I mean, seriously, kicking people off their land when they own the land. You know that's not right. If you're somehow trying to intellectualize that this right, that this is okay, that this is acceptable, you're under a spell. It's not acceptable. After years of people living in freedom to all of a sudden change things up and add classism and veiled racism and in some cases overt racism. Some of the people here in San Luis don't understand the concept of karma, those that make false accusations. I hear that there's a bunch of people saying they want a bunch of white people here. Just to say that and see if they can get people to buy into it. And so someone, hopefully, in their eyes, will fire the first shot that starts the Civil War in Costilla County. That's insanity. There are evil spirits of mischief that have been at play here in this region and on this planet for some time now. And they're very active, trying to get people all defensive and worked up and in a warlike state of mind. And how many people involved in this sort of tale even understand or realize it's not a kook idea? That mankind gets more excited. Mankind gets more excited during the peaks of the solar cycles. Be it drug use, be it sexual activity, be it violence, be it wars, be it man's interest in bodybuilding and martial arts. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Just like a sound wave, there is a high and a low. And that high and a low to the solar cycle, those years where it's more active, you see more agriculture. There are more earthquakes. There are more storms. There are more straight-up misunderstandings that lead to fistfights in an alleyway. There are more issues going on. There are more people going off-grid, moving, that are being pumped up by this energy. They're doing positive things with it. There are more documentary films being made. And, works of art, paintings, songs, music, pop culture, and all the different variants of it. I've been looking at the whole trends with humankind and the sun for a number of years. Coming back to Costilla County and seeing that the largest solar flare of this year occurred when all those people converged at that planning commission meeting where they gave their 3 minutes. And that is what started a lot of the media attention. And that was September 9th, 2015. All I did, I was just there at the right place, at the right time, to film it and document it, and also help in the flyering process that let people, the flyers that were spread out in the valley, to alert people that weren't on the internet that this meeting was going down, and to watch how it spawned something. And now, seeing how going into winter with less sun, and right now, with not a whole lot of solar flares, although we've had some recently, things are quieting down. But every now and then, things pop up. People pop up in the chat rooms, in the Facebook groups. And then all of a sudden, you're seeing people race bait and say things that aren't true. Hey, I heard that the whites want to take over the valley. Hey, they spit on my wife. Like, really? You have no evidence for that. You're just going to come in and say that. It's almost as if something gets a hold of some of these young individuals, and sometimes they're older and they should know better. Sometimes the elders in our community, people like Maria Martinez and others, instead of the elders having wisdom in their older ages, they're speaking in a way to encourage people to take up arms and hurt others. I feel like Maria Martinez, the elder in San Luis, is playing a role in trying to start a race war by making false allegations that we're racist or that we're a white supremacist organization and that we're criminals taking their water. And Devin Pinion is another character. I want people to know these names because there are several people that are instrumental in trying to call people to violence. And this needs to be reported. And this needs to be known to people in case anyone is murdered or hurt. There are people that are actually very scared now in the prairie about people from San Luis, especially after John Spunius had his life threatened in San Luis several weeks ago when one of the community members said, if this was the old days, we'd run you out with 30-06s. And if we can get away with it, we would do it again. And there is a history of the ancestors of Espinoza, Pete Espinoza, running out whites and murdering them. As far as Andrew Espinoza, he looks like a good guy. He has chosen to not be nice to me, though, to show me that side. And others have said that they believe Andrew Espinoza is being forced to act the way that he's acting, but deep down inside, he has a soul, he's a good guy. And I see a person who is a good guy beyond that, and I'd like to see another side of Andrew Espinoza, but he's left some of us a little confused at the way that he's treated some of us when we've gone down there, threatening to arrest us if we don't move fast enough, even if we're just being polite as it is. It's things like that that are part of the intimidating behavior of Costilla County. That is obviously there to instill fear in people so people don't go down to the meetings. They're afraid of getting arrested. And now people are afraid of SWAT coming up on the prairie if they resist or get into an argument with a code enforcement officer. The code enforcement officers are pissed off, calling Romero, Cruz Soto. I don't know what's going on in his mind. But we do know that Alamosa SWAT is on standby in case they have a problem in the prairie. So I will continue to report on things that are taking place, whether or not viewers are doing their part by sending me footage and or information. Lately, things have been quiet, and people have shown me, a few of them, that they're easily scared off by the county, and that they're easily frightened. And I'm not really seeing a great deal of bravery in the county, and I'm going to continue to report that as well. Alex Answer here, signing off, October 28th, 2015.